Yo, it's Ginzy, and today we're going to be working through a beginner's flow. It's really, really chilly out here in New York today, so we're going to take that to our mat and maybe build a fire, create some heat internally. Get ready to sweat, get ready to work. You guys should grab any kind of blocks, any kind of straps you need for your practice. Otherwise, I'll meet you guys in a child's pose at the top of your mat. All right. So, if you're an absolute beginner, no worries. I'll be going through every pose. I'll be giving you guys any kind of advice, any kind of variations. And here we're going to start with our first variation, all right? For child's pose, you guys have two options. You can spread your knees as wide as the mat, your heels tucked behind you, right? And stretch your hands out towards the top of the mat, taking your forehead to the ground. Your second option for your child's pose is going to be with your knees together, sitting back on your heels. Again, forehead to the ground, but this time your palms are behind you facing towards the ceiling. Whichever option of child's pose you guys choose, just make it there safely and start to breathe in the posture. A big theme of yoga is the breath. So we're going to start our warm-up by trying to link our movement with our breath. Inhale, you extend towards the sky. Exhale, you feel the weight sink deeper into the ground. Follow your breath as it comes from your tummy all the way up to your chest, all the way to your nose, and then back down. Feel those cycles of breath start to warm up the body. That's all we need, right? Just to start breathing. All right, you guys, let's start to introduce some movement. If your hands aren't at the top of the mat, get them there. On your inhale, you're going to start to walk your hands towards the right side of your mat. They can come off the mat. Most importantly, your left hand is going to meet your right, and then it's going to cross over so that you feel a really, really long stretch in the left-hand side of your body. With your inhale, that stretch should intensify. You should feel it even more. And with the exhale, you should sink deeper, get more comfortable in the pose. On your exhale, start to make your hands back to the center of your mat. On your next inhale, start to take your hands to the left side of your mat. Again, your right hand is going to meet your left. It's going to cross over, and you're going to feel a really, really long stretch in the right side of your body, all the way from your right pinky finger to your tailbone. Breathe here. And then slowly on your exhale, start to take your hands back to the center of your mat. On your next inhale, you're going to rise into our first tabletop position. For your tabletop, your hips are stacked up above your knees, your shoulders are stacked above your wrists. Right? We're creating literally a tabletop. If I were to place a little pot on top of your back, it wouldn't fall over. Let's challenge that. See how still you can be. What if I were to place a little ball on the back of your little table? Would it fall over? If you're still enough, if you're feeling the yoga, it won't. So, in this tabletop, let's start to introduce some movement. On an inhale, we're going to dip our tummies. We're going to look towards the sky, cow pose. On an exhale, you're going to reverse those actions, start to take the back towards the sky, start to round your back and look towards your belly button. Cat pose. Inhale, I rise, cow. Exhale, I fall, cat. And your breath, your movement, start to take it at your own pace. Inhale, I rise. Exhale, I sink. We're just warming up our back. Starting to introduce some heat to our spine so that when we stretch a little later, it's not painful, right? Our body is all prepped for it. Awesome work, everyone. You should be feeling the warmth start to build. Maybe you want to listen to your body and it's asking for a little bit of a push to the left or a little bit of a push to the right. So yeah, we've been traveling vertically, but now let's start to introduce some horizontal movement, right? So we're still traveling through those cat-cows, but now we're going left, we're going right, we're going sideways. We're making little circles wherever your body wants to take you today. And when you feel all comfortable and settled, I'll meet you guys with a neutral spine. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to warm up our wrists. So I'd like you guys to twist your wrists so that your fingers are facing towards your knees. Your wrists are facing the top of your mat. You're still shoulder width distance apart and all that good stuff. This should be enough of a stretch for your wrists. But if you're not feeling it, if you're asking for a little bit more, maybe you want to rock forward and back for your wrists to lift off the ground. Our wrists tend to be really, really tight because of all the time we spend sitting down at our desks at our computers. Well, thank you guys for dedicating this hour of your time to really, really say, you know what? I'm going to love myself. I'm going to love my wrists. I'm going to love my body. I'll make myself feel good, right? Great work, everyone. I'd like you guys to return your wrists to that neutral position where they were prior. Maybe you want to flip your hands so that your palms face towards your chest. You're putting as little weight on your wrists as you possibly can. That should be a good counter stretch. Otherwise, we'll return to where we were in this tabletop position. And let's start to see where your abs are at. Let's do it. So, on your next inhale, you're going to tuck your toes and you're going to lift your knees about an inch off the ground. That's it, an inch. You're going to want to probably go higher, or you're probably going to want to sink deeper, maybe take your knees to the ground. But I invite you guys to stay at that inch, right? Now, the second you start to flex your core, it almost might be intuitive to stop breathing. But guess what? Yoga is about, you guessed it, the breath. So, with all this strain in our core, in our knees, and our thighs, can you invite the breath to those tight spots? Oh my God, shut up already, Genji, man. Take your knees to the ground. All right, let's do it. Drop your knees. Untuck your toes. Maybe go through those cat-cows we've been doing prior. Or maybe just sit there, right? Sway side to side. But nothing's as simple as it seems. So on your next inhale, let's tuck our toes and lift our knees. You guessed it, 1 centimeter off the ground, even lower. How close can you be to the ground without touching it? Oh, it hurts, I swear. Nah, man, that's just discomfort. And discomfort is a theme that we'd like to surpass, right? We get uncomfortable very, very often, whether it's in our daily lives, in any kind of work situation, maybe in miscommunication. The thing is, when we're met with this discomfort, we want to back out. Here, however, in yoga, a theme is to work through that discomfort, to invite the discomfort, because guess what? After a couple of times surpassing the discomfort, you can apply that to your everyday life and really, really challenge yourself. On your exhale, you're going to shoot your hips back up by straightening your legs. We're in our first downward dog. It's an upside down V shape. Your hands are shoulder-width distance apart. Your legs are bent with your feet, with your heels reaching towards the ground. And we're breathing. You want to make sure that your shoulders are as far away from your head as they possibly can be, so send them back. And you want to pay attention to the special long line in our spine, all the way from our wrists to our tailbone. If you want to invite some movement to this pose, start to pedal out your legs. So inhale, bend one leg, super deep. Exhale, straighten that leg, and bend the other one. And one breath, one movement. Let's start to bend and straighten our legs. Just stretch out those hamstrings, those lovely hamstrings of ours. Our hamstrings tend to be really, really tight, or like we say in my studio, very, very strong, right? Feels a lot better when somebody tells you your hamstrings are really strong as opposed to, damn, those hamstrings are tight, man. Actually, tight's pretty cool too, right? Yo, that song's tight, man. Remind old soul. All right, you guys, enough of that ranting. Let's do it. Let's introduce a bend to our legs, a full bend, and look towards our hands to really, really straighten out our back. Now you're going to start to straighten both legs, taking your heels to the ground without sacrificing that long spine. If you start to bend in your lower back, that's it. Come back to that micro bend in your knees. That's absolutely fine. We prefer the long back over the straight legs. Bro, are we going to be in this downward dog forever? Maybe. Maybe that's our whole class for today. Who knows? Your goal, your role, is to invite any asana, any pose, and love it. Here we're building strength, we're building our breath, we're building our posture. And finally, we're building our intention. So, on your next inhale, I'd like you guys to bend both legs, look forward, and on your exhale, step towards the top of your mat and hang heavy in a forward fold. For your forward fold, your hands can be on the ground. They could be reaching for your toes. Your legs are bent, right? Because we can't really, not a lot of us can really just reach for the ground like that with straight legs. I know I can't. So invite the weight of your torso to take you closer and closer to the ground. Maybe you want to reach for opposite elbow and swing side to side. Similar stretch in our hamstrings, like we just went through in our downward dog, pedaling out our legs. Your back should feel really good. The weight is strengthening it and stretching it towards the ground. And on our next inhale, we're going to rise into a half lift. For a half lift, your hands can be on your shins, your hands can be on your thighs, or they can be on the ground in front of you. Most importantly, you have a flat back. Another inhale here. Exhale, let's return to that forward fold. Bend your legs and fall forward. Inhale, we're going to rise all the way to a mountain pose. Our hands come to the sky with us. Exhale, our hands come by our sides. Inhale, we're going to reach up one more time. This time, take your hands together at the top of your head and take a mini back bend. Urdhva Hastasana. Upward salute. Exhale, you're going to fold back into that ragdoll, into that forward fold position. Inhale, come back to that half lift. Hands are on your shins or thighs. Exhale, you're going to plant your hands as you bend your legs. You're going to step your feet back 1 foot at a time. I'll meet everybody in a plank position. This plank is a very powerful posture. It's very still, right? It resembles the shape of that tabletop. If I were to place a ball on your plank, would it fall? No, it wouldn't, you guys. Great work. From this plank, we're going to build through a Vinyasa flow, a Chaturanga flow. So I'm going to introduce a couple of options again, as we did prior with the child's pose. Your first option is the classic Chaturanga Dandasana. For that, you're going to bend your elbows so that they graze your ribs, right? They're not splaying out, they're hugging in. They're bent halfway, and then you're going to untuck your toes behind you. Start to straighten out your arms again for an upward facing dog. Your knees are hovering off the mat and you're looking up towards the sky. On your exhale, you're going to start to reverse those actions, send your hips back, untuck your toes, and we've been here before. Down dog. That's right. That's what we call a Vinyasa Chaturanga flow. So, let's do it one more time. Inhale, you're going to slide forward into your plank position. Your shoulders are stacked on top of your wrists. Exhale, you're going to bend your elbows. Halfway, Chaturanga Dandasana. Untuck your toes and rise. Upward facing dog. Exhale, you're going to tuck your toes and shoot your hips back. Downward facing dog. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, come into your plank, bend your elbows, rise, up dog. Exhale, shoot it back, down dog. And stay in this downward facing dog. Now, we have to take care of our shoulders and our hands in this position, so I ask you guys to press into that index finger mound on your hands as opposed to taking all the weight to your wrists and the sides of your hands, right? That'll make sure our hands are healthy and can continue in our future yoga classes, right? So they can bear the strength. Great work. On your inhale, you're going to bend your legs, you're going to look forward, and you're going to make your way to the top of the mat and hang in a forward fold. On your inhale, take that half lift. Exhale, come back to that forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way, taking your hands up to the sky with you. Exhale, take your hands to your heart center. A variation of mountain pose. Inhale, take your hands to the sky. Baby back bend. And on your exhale, you're going to fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step back into that plank. We've been here before. We talked about options for our Chaturanga flow. So for the second option, you're going to drop your knees to the ground and you're going to slide your chest through in between your hands, keeping your knees where they are, so that your chin touches the top of your mat. You're going to slide all the way through now so that your arms are bent, right? But you're not putting all the strain on your arms. You can also come into straight arms here with our knees on the ground. 2 variations of cobra. Most importantly, when returning to your down dog, you tuck your toes and in a similar fashion, shoot your hips back. Let's try it one more time. Inhale, come into your plank position. Drop your knees, slide your chest through. Slide it further for your cobra, and then come back up into your downward facing dog. One breath here. And let's get comfortable with it. One more time. Slide forward to your plank. Exhale, bend your elbows. Ooh, wrong one. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. I hope you guys did the one that you wanted to do. Great work, everyone. We have a breath or two left in this down dog. So remember, get comfortable in it. Really feel the benefits of your muscles pressing into the ground. All right. Bend your legs, look forward, and on an exhale, start to make your way towards the top of the mat. Hang heavy in a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. All the way. Exhale, take your hands to your heart center. Inhale, let's rise. Baby back bend. Exhale, fold. Half lift. Plant your hands. Step back. And let's go through this flow. Whichever one you'd like, whether that's the up dog to the down dog or the cobra to the down dog. So, exhale, you drop. Inhale, you rise. And exhale, you shoot it back. Notice we're speaking so much of the breath. That's because the breath is crucial for these movements. On your next exhale, you're going to take your knees to the ground and lean over to one side, swinging your legs out in front of you. Our next pose is going to be a boat pose or a navasana. So you're going to scooch your hips to the middle of your mat and lift your lower legs so that they're parallel to the ground. Great. You're making this kind of 90-degree angle between your hips, your lower back, and your thighs. Now you're going to take your arms up so that they're parallel to your lower legs. Inhale, you're going to extend back, shooting your feet forward and your head back. Exhale, you're going to rise. Inhale, extend. Exhale, rise. Inhale, extend. Exhale, rise. Wait, this isn't yoga. These are just crunches. Oh yeah, we're taking you through some crunches, but that's okay because we need to fire up our core before we're able to do all that beautiful yoga posture, right? All that beautiful asana. You guys got 15 seconds here. You're doing great. Your breath, your movement. Take it as slow or as fast as you'd like. Most importantly, your chest is coming to your knees as opposed to your knees to your chest. You're firing up the core and not cheating your way out using your thighs. All right, that's 3, 2, and 1. Drop it. How quickly can you go from 100 to 0? Use this break time wisely to slow down your heartbeat, to reconnect with the breath, because in 3, 2, 1, I'm going to meet you guys back in your Navasana position. If you guys want to challenge yourself, if you're feeling flexible, maybe you straighten out your legs. Whoa, can't really do it. It's okay. Your body, your level, right? We're back in this Navasana. This time we're going to extend and interlace our hands behind our head. We're going for bicycle crunches. So right knee to left elbow, left knee to right elbow. And continue like that. Your pace, your rhythm, your breath. In these times of discomfort, it's really, really easy to lose the breath. So most importantly, you're pushing yourself, but you're still breathing. We got 20 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it. Oh, that feels good in my core. I hope you guys feel just as good, if not better. And we're lying on our mat, just breathing, taking a break from all that pressure, all that work. One may say we're actually taking in the benefits of all that work by resting right after it. Notice when you work, and I'm not singing the song. When you work, what happens is you tend to either produce a lower level of work or not necessarily take in the information as you would, right, when you're studying for hours and hours, days and days for your exams. You take in a lot less information than when you stretch it out over months and years. Because the rest matters. It makes a difference. On your inhale, you're going to hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze and start to roll left to right on your mat, giving yourself a baby back massage. Now you're going to start to rock forward and back, gaining momentum until you're able to plant your hands in front of you and step back into that plank position. Let's go through our chaturanga flow all together. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, rise. Up dog. Exhale. Shoot it back. Down dog. Awesome work, everyone. I think we're ready to start flowing. So let's get that beautiful asana, beautiful practice. On your inhale, take your right leg to the sky behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, you're going to try to swing your right foot through in between your hands. If it doesn't get there, that's absolutely okay. Just inch your foot forward until it gets there in between your legs. You're going to swing your back heel down so that it's at a 45-degree angle pointing towards the top left corner of your mat. And on your inhale, you're going to rise with straight arms, warrior one. Let's set up a strong base. So for our base, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our right knee is hovering on top of our right ankle. It's not going forward, and it can be a little further back, but preferably straight over. We're going to take our attention to our hips and make sure that our hips are straightened out towards the front of the mat. So that should mean you're probably inviting a little bit of a back hinge to your right hip and a little bit of a forward hinge to your left hip. You straighten them out towards the front. Your hands are straight above you. And we're breathing in this warrior one. Inhale, your torso should rise closer to the ceiling. Exhale, your knee should sink deeper into the pose. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink deeper. And we're breathing. One more breath here. On our exhale, we're going to start to open up our left leg so that it's parallel to the back of our mat and take a wider stance to open up into a warrior two. For your warrior two, again, we're taking a wider stance and our back foot's now parallel as opposed to that 45-degree angle. Our hips are splaying open to the left side of the room or the left side of your mat. you're reaching your hands away from each other. So your right hand is reaching forward and your left hand is reaching back. Your gaze is over your right hand. Let's invite a similar inhale, exhale movement to this warrior two. Inhale, our torso should feel like it's rising higher. Exhale, your knee should feel like it's sinking deeper, closer to the ground. One more breath here. On your inhale, you're going to straighten out your front leg and tilt down so that your right hand is inside of your right foot and your gaze follows your left hand to the sky, triangle. This might be inaccessible, so if that's the case, maybe place your right hand on top of your right shin or on top of your right thigh. You don't want it on your knee. Your knee is a very sensitive joint in the body, and a lot of the time we put too much unnecessary pressure on it so that it loses its strength, and that's very dangerous, you guys. So listen to your body, listen to any pain signals it sends, and back out, if anything. Awesome, we're in this triangle position. Looking up towards the sky, both our legs are straight. And on your exhale, you're going to bend your front knee, place your hands around your right foot, lift that left heel up behind you, and send your right foot back. Let's go through our chaturanga flow. So first our plank, then bend your elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great work. Inhale, take your left leg to the sky. Exhale, try to step it through in one swing in between your hands without lifting your wrists off the ground. If you don't get there, that's absolutely fine. Just inch your left foot further in between your hands. On an exhale, swing that back heel down at a 45-degree angle, facing the top right corner of your mat. On an inhale, we're going to rise into a warrior one. Remember, for our warrior one, we're in a shorter stance. Our front knee, our left knee, is stacked above our left heel. We're facing forward, and we're straightening out our hips towards the front of the mat. So our left hip is probably pushing back, and our right hip is probably pushing forward. Our hands are lifted straight above us. Inhale, we grow taller. Exhale, we sink deeper. Make sure your weight is evenly distributed between your feet, between your legs. A lot of the time we tend to put all of our weight on one side and not even realize it. One more breath here. And on an exhale, start to swing open into your warrior two. For your warrior two, you're going to take a wider stance. Your back foot is now parallel to the back short side of your mat, and your hips are totally open to the right side. Your hands are reaching away from each other, left hand forward, right hand back, and you're sinking deeper into the pose with every exhale. Engage the triceps to make sure your hands stay in that position, in that floating position. A lot of the time we take that pressure into our shoulders, which isn't necessarily so healthy for us. So try to engage those arm muscles to shoot your hands away from each other. Exhale, you're going to straighten out that left leg and start to tip forward, preserving the hips where they are into that triangle position. Your gaze follows your right hand to the sky. Again, your hand can be on your shin, on the ground, wherever you find it comfortable. Most importantly, it's not on your knee. You should feel your hips stretching. Feel really good in those inner and outer hips. And on an exhale, start to bend that front knee. Frame your left foot with your hands. Untuck that right heel and send your left foot back to meet us in plank. Let's build through our chaturanga flow. Bend your elbows. Up dog or cobra. Down dog. All right, let's take a break. You guys are doing great. So come into your child's pose, or you can come into a Vajrasana variation, which means you're sitting back on your heels, your knees are tight together in front of you, and your hands are splayed open on your thighs, your eyes are closed. These poses are here for us to reinvite the breath to our being and kind of get our shit together after all that hard work. One more breath here. And then start to make your hands take your hands towards the top of your mat so that you can tuck the toes and come back to that downward dog. That downward V shape. Great work, everyone. Let's go through our second flow, through our second round. Inhale, take your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, sweep it through in between your hands. Swing that back heel down at a 45-degree angle, warrior one. Exhale, open up to a warrior two. Inhale, straighten out that front leg and tip forward into your triangle. Now listen closely, we're going to do something different, and we're going to reinvite that bend to our right knee, coming back up into a warrior two position. This time on our exhale, we're going to tip down without straightening that front leg into a side angle. So your hand can be on the ground inside of your right foot. If this is too much, you can take your elbow to your right thigh. Your left hand is reaching up towards the sky. Whichever variation you pick, really commit to the pose. If your hand is to the ground or your fingers to the ground, your right tricep should be pressing into your right thigh to deepen that stretch. If you have anything else in your practice here, maybe a half bind. For your half bind, take your left hand down so that your palm is facing out. It's on your right thigh again. If you want to go for your full bind, swing your right hand under your right thigh and catch your left hand to interlace your fingers and pull back. Exhale, as slowly as possible, unwrap your hands to frame your right foot. Lift that back heel and step that right foot back. Let's go through our chaturanga flow. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Awesome work. We got one more side to go. Notice, this time it went a lot quicker. That's because we're warming our bodies and we're trying to introduce this practice to our breath. So inhale, take your left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Inhale, hinge that back heel down 45 degrees. Exhale, rise. Warrior one. Exhale, open. Warrior two. Inhale, straighten that front leg and tip down. Triangle. Your variation. Remember, this isn't where we end this time, right? On your next inhale, you're going to return to that warrior two. Bending that left knee. Let's take another breath here. On your exhale, tilt down without straightening that left foot for your side angle. You can take your left elbow to your left thigh if you'd like an easier variation. Otherwise, your fingertips or your hands are on, your hand is on the ground, your left tricep pressing into your left thigh. If you want to go for that half bind, twist your right hand out so that your palm is facing back behind you. Hinge it down so that it grazes your right thigh. If you want to go for your full bind, reach your left arm under your left thigh to grab your right hand, interlace your fingers, and then pull it back, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, unravel. Frame your left foot with your hands. Step your left foot back so that we meet in a plank position. Let's go through our chaturanga flow. Bend your elbows. Inhale, rise, up dog. Exhale, shoot your hips back, down dog. Let's come to our knees for that Vajrasana or child's pose. Whatever you'd like. Close your eyes and reconnect to your breath. Flutter open your eyes. Take your hands out in front of you. Tuck your toes. And come up into your down dog. I've got good news for you guys. We're here to slow things down. So on your next inhale, take your right leg to the sky. Exhale, you're going to sweep it forward, this time not taking your foot in between your hands, but rather taking your right lower leg parallel to the short front side of your mat. We're setting up for our half pigeon. For our half pigeon, we got to make sure our left leg is jutting out behind us. It's parallel to the wide sides of our mat. We're going to walk our hands alongside our hips to set up a stable base. And then we're going to start to hinge forward. It's okay if your shin doesn't get parallel to the top of your mat. It could be at a 45-degree angle. Most importantly, you're coming down to what level feels good. You can come onto your hands if this is enough of a stretch for your right outer hip. You can come onto your forearms, or you can come all the way onto your forehead. This is what we call a passive pose in yoga, which means we don't really need to do much for it to work. We kind of let gravity do the work for us. So our role here is to wait patiently and invite the breath to any discomfort. As for the discomfort, you should be feeling it a little bit already in your outer right hip. That's totally okay, as long as it's not pain in any one of your knees. What we're going to do is we're going to picture that right outer hip, and we're going to send our gaze there, our focus there, and our breath there. All of it. Commit to it 150%. And that's how you reap the benefits of this pose. Don't back out. The longer you wait here, the more intense it gets. And that's what we want. If you want to go for a little quad stretch, come onto your hands. Take your right hand to the middle of the mat. Swing your left heel up towards your butt. Reach up and around to grab your left foot from the inside with your left hand. Your left thumb is pointing towards the sky. And you're looking forward, pulling your foot closer and closer to your glutes. Come out of it as slowly as you can. If you're not already on your hands, come on your hands. Tuck your left toe. Shoot your right foot back. Open up your hip and make little circles with your knee to reintroduce some life into that right leg. I'm sure it fell asleep through all that half pigeon work, right? Crazy. Inhale, straighten out your hips. You're in a three-legged dog. And then take your right foot down to meet your left. Great work. Let's go for a half pigeon on our left side. Inhale, sweep your left leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, swing it through for that half pigeon. Your left thigh is parallel to the top of your mat. Your right leg is shooting back so that it's parallel to the wide edges of your mat. Let's set up a stable base, walking our hands back alongside our hips, and then starting to hinge at our hips. First coming onto your hands. If that's enough, stay here. If you want to take it further on, come onto your forearms, and then ultimately take it to your forehead. And breathe through this tough posture. You got it. Now, what happens when I stop speaking? Are you flooded with all your responsibilities for the day? What you got to get done by next week? What exams you have left? Well, I'm here to tell you guys that's absolutely normal. No matter how much yoga you do, no matter how much you try to kind of flush those out, our thoughts are gonna keep running through our minds because that's what our minds are there to do. That being said, there isn't a way to, there is a way to calm them down, to quiet them, especially when you're coming through your practice, when you're flowing with us. And that magic secret is to welcome those thoughts, become aware that you're thinking them, acknowledge them, say, hey, I see you, bro, and then wave them away. How do you wave them away? Well, if you logically think about it, what purpose do those thoughts serve you today, right now, on your mat? Do your responsibilities for tomorrow morning have anything to do with this hour you've dedicated to your yoga flow? Probably not. I don't mean to answer that question for you. But when you introduce that kind of logic to this practice, it's a lot easier to wave those thoughts away and dedicate all your attention, all your focus to this pose. If you want to come into that quad stretch, come onto your hands, take your left hand to the middle, and then kick your right heel into your butt. Swing your right hand up and around to catch your right foot from the inside and swing it closer to your butt. Look forward. Exhale, release that back foot. If you're not already on your hands, come onto them. Tuck your right foot. Swing your left foot back behind you for your three-legged dog. Open up your hips. Make some circles to reintroduce some life into that left leg. And take your left foot to the ground. Nice work. All right. We only got 2 poses left, so the benefit of a YouTube video, or the plus that comes with doing yoga online, is you can pause it at any time. If you guys have any kind of poses that you'd like to do before we finish off, just go for them, play with them, and whenever you're ready, come back and I'll take you guys through a Shavasana with us. Most importantly is that you commit to your practice, what you want, what you like. All right, so that you're having a good time. Boom. What we're going to do is we're going to, again, swing all our weight onto one side, send our legs out in front of us, and come to lying on our backs. We're going to come into a bridge pose. For your bridge pose, you want to walk your heels back so that your middle fingers can touch your heels. Now, you want to invite all of the weight into your feet and into your shoulders. And then using your core, you're going to press up and off the ground to come up into your bridge pose. Your head is tucked. Maybe you want to take it to the next level by walking your shoulders in under you. Maybe you want to take it to the next level by interlacing your hands under you, creating that kind of support system with your shoulders. Otherwise, on your exhale, slowly start to make your way out of this bridge, taking your hips to the ground. And breathe. Let's do one more bridge. So your variation, your level, wherever you want to go today. On an inhale, swing your hips up. And breathe here. Your hips should reach further and further and further towards the sky, lessening the space between your chest and your chin. And on an exhale, come down. All right. Our hips are centered on our mat. Next pose we're doing is our happy baby. So you're going to reach your feet up and grab your feet from the opposite edges, from the pinky side edges. You're going to sway left to right, forward and back, wherever your body invites you. Again, this pose is called a happy baby, so make some baby noises. Maybe you want to go for your lion's breath. For your lion's breath, what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep, deep, deep inhale. Hold it at the top, make a really sour face. And on your exhale, open your mouth all the way, stick your tongue out and make a noise. Whoa, that should feel really good. You're sending all your energy that you've worked up, all that fire out into the world, maybe even off of your mat. Maybe you want to extend one leg, then the other. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. And ultimately, we're going to come into our Shavasana, or corpse pose. Extend your legs out in front of you. Your heels are facing one another. Your feet are splayed out towards opposite sides of the mat, of the room. Your hands are facing up towards the sky. Your palms are splayed wide open. Your shoulders are walked in behind you, and your neck is long. And we're breathing. This is arguably the most important pose in all of our practice because Shavasana is where we reap the benefits of all of our work. If we didn't know what that 0 point was, our body wouldn't recognize that we were going at 100 this whole time. So now as you relax, as you let the breath take over, your body says, hey, whoa, you did great, man. So here is where you should feel all that relaxation, all that happiness, all that good. I think as Nicki Minaj put it once. If you feel any tension anywhere on the body, can you drop it? Can you relax those little muscles around your eyes? Can you unflex that jaw? Can you let your feet go? Your fingers sink? And again, if you're swamped with all those thoughts about tomorrow and the day after and the day after, remember that little flow of logic we used to kind of give them an exit before. We said we don't need them right now, especially in our Shavasana. Another trick is to take your attention straight to the breath. And slowly, nothing else starts to matter but the long inhale traveling up your spine and the long exhale coming down your spine. Start to lengthen out your exhales. And as slowly as you can, hug your knees into your chest, one by one or all together. Give yourself a tight squeeze. And fall onto the right side of your body into your fetus posture. Without opening your eyes, press up and come to a comfortable seat at the top of your mat, wherever you'd like to be. You can be seated crisscross applesauce in our Vajrasana, whatever you like, however you feel good. Your hands come to your knees, palms are wide open towards the sky. We're open to reception, open to taking in this new energy around us and sharing our newfound energy with everyone else around us. I want to close this practice with an Om. Take your hands to your heart center. We're going to take a deep breath in. And all together, Om. Take your hands to your third eye center, that space in between your eyebrows. And together we bow in gratitude. Namaste. Flutter open your eyes. And whoa, we made it, you guys. That's so cool. I want to thank you guys for coming out today to making your way onto the mat. I want you guys to thank yourselves. You guys did yourselves an amazing favor. I'm sure your bodies feel incredible. Please like, subscribe, leave any feedback. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Most importantly, I hope you had a good time. All right? That's what I want to share with you guys today. The love, the passion, the creativity. Please, please, please stay with me. Namaste.